Okay, am I audible? Yes,
Yes, sir.
please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I think in last session, actually, I forgot to add this point, like data center monitoring and security. So today we are going to cover the same. Okay. So let me share my screen first. So okay. That's better. Uh, where is my screen? Is my screen visible to all of you? Please let me
Yes,
know.
sir.
Okay, thank you. So just wait for 2 more minutes so others can join. Sufficient number of students join. No issue. So we can start now. Okay. So good morning, everyone. Today we are entering one of the most practical and industry level part of the data center architecture. That is monitoring and security. Okay. So until now we focus on the how data centers are built, then how server storage and networks are built in real world environments. So biggest challenge is not building the system. It is keeping them running reliably and you can say the securely 24/7. So the modern data centers runs the thousands of servers. Uh, it having the processes millions of requests. It process millions of requests and store the critical and sensitive data. Okay. So we must uh, constantly monitor the system health, record the activities, and detect the threats, prevent the failures. So today we will deeply understand the logging, how we are going to log in, performance monitoring tools, uh, performance. We can separate these things in two parts. What is the we are going to separate it in the performance monitoring, and there is a monitoring tools also there, threat detections and preventions. Okay. So again, we are going to separate these two things like threat detections and threat preventions. Okay. So this topic is extremely important for the cloud engineers, system administrator, and security analyst. Okay. So let's start. Let me allow the what happened. Okay. So why monitoring and security are important in data center? So let's start with the basic questions. Okay. What happens if the monitoring is not Wait a minute, why this sounds coming on? Okay, so where we are? So what happens if the monitoring is not present? So imagine your CPU, whatever CPU you purchase, goes to 100%. Memory is full, disk is almost full, but no one is monitoring it. So what will result it? So it will result in a system crash without warning. So now think about the security. A hacker tries to 1,000 logins attempts, no monitoring, no alert. So what happens? The system will get compromised. Okay. So monitoring provides the visibility. Generally, what monitoring provides? It provides the visibility. Like what is happening. Visibility means what? What is happening. And also it provides the control. Like how do we react in case of we identify some issues. Okay. And security provides the protections generally. Means who is allowed for to access that particular system, and the defense means how to stop that attack from the outsiders. So in data centers, we always focus on CIA tried. I hope you understand what is mean of CIA. CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability that we learned in the first unit. So this confidentiality, integrity, and availability, monitoring and security directly support all of these three. But we can say that. Okay. So so generally we use these kind of why it is important. So this point we can say that, and it again protect against the cyber attacks and internal messages. Okay, so let's understand what is meaning of logging in depth. So now, what is logging? So logging is not just writing a text into a file. It is a systematic recording of any kind of event happening across the entire infrastructure of data center. Okay, I'm going to repeat the concept of logging. Okay, it is not just writing the text into any files. Okay, it is what login means. What it is a systematic recording of event, any kind of event happening across the entire the infrastructure of data center. So each log entry typically contains the time span, event type, what type of event happened, system components, which is system component is involved in that event, and uh, severity or levels of that particular event, what kind of messages they're happening. Okay, for example, uh, there comes the error like the server one disk failure. It may happens most of the time. So this tells us the time span where the server, which server, server one, server two, server three, and what failures. So disk failure is after. So generally logs act as the historical evidences. What I'm saying, log acts as a historical evidences. So without logs, debugging becomes the means like the guesswork. If you don't have any log, so debugging becomes the guesswork. So and what we say that security investigations become the impossible. So in real data centers, logs are generated by operating system, applications, firewall, databases, and network devices. So these many of things they are produce their own log, and they help us to generate the logs. Okay, so generally this login helps us in debugging, auditing, compliances, and any kind of incident or investigations we need to perform. For that reason, we use the logging. Okay, there are different types of logging. Okay, so let's understand what are those. So system logs. The first one is what? System logs. So it is generated by the OS operating system like the Linux, Windows. Okay. So for example, what kind of logs is generated? Like generate the system boot log, hardware failure log, CPU overheating log. So we use this for the system level debugging. This kind of logs we generally use for the system level debugging. Second one is the application log. So application log is generated by the softwares, okay, or any applications. Okay. Example, we can say the web server errors like 404, 411, likewise. Um, Database query failure. So this kind of logs are generated by the software. So messages are generated by the software, and this is generally used by this application log is generally used by the developer. Okay. Third one is the security logs. So here we basically focusing on the critical for the cyber security. For example, fail login attempt. So if suppose user tries to logged in any system with a incorrect password more than 3 times, so that must be may alert to the system that unauthorized users is trying to access. So that kind of security logs are generated. So that is what a login attempt. Okay, and some are the privileges escalations. So this kind of logs generally used to detect the attacks, cyber attacks. You can say that. Okay. Next one is what a network logs. So it is generated by the routers, switches, firewalls. Example like we can say the packet drops, unusual traffic. So this log is generally used by the network, generally used for the network troubleshooting. Okay. Next logs is like audit logs. So this is what uh, generally used for the tracking the user actions. Okay. For example, who access which file and who changed the configuration. So and this kind of log generally used for the compliances and accountability. So keep this in mind. Okay. So these are the different types of logs. So there may be in a question in your examination, write and explain different types of logs and give the example of each and who uses that logs. So you need to be specify that one. Okay. Next one is the importance of login. Again, it let's understand these things. So generally, it helps us to identify the failure quickly, like troubleshooting, investigations, or security investigations. It also helps us for the compliances, different compliances, performance analysis. You can say accountability and traceability. Okay, then it comes with the we can say predictive maintenance for sometimes. Okay, so let's understand the importance from the different perspective. So like troubleshooting, if the server crashes, log tells us why that thing happens. Okay, if you are using that for the security investigation, so if data is leaked, so log tell us who access it. Okay, so see these are the importance comes because of this kind of evidences we stored in the logs, historical evidences we stored in the log. Okay, so that is why the importance of login camps across the systems. Okay, there are different types of challenges in login, we can say the huge volume of data. Okay, so volume is a major problem. So large data center generates the TBs of logs per day. Okay, wait a minute. Let me allow the others. They are trying to enter in the system. How many of okay. So huge volume of log data since the large data center generates the TBs of log per day. Okay, so that is a major challenge. Second one is you can say the noise versus signals. Okay, so many logs are useless. Sometimes it happens. So like the debug log and repetitive entries. Okay. So this kind of things is finding the useful logs is sometimes the difficulty to analyze the useful logs. Okay. Storage problems again comes here. So where to storage this kind of logs? Okay. So local storage is again really risky. And if you are going for the centralized storage, so that may be the costly for that particular users and data centers. Okay. Security risk, we can say that like the attackers may delete the logs or modify logs, so that may be happen. Okay. Solutions, we can say that the modern systems generally use the centralized login, that is ELK stack or log aggregations tools. That's generally, or sometimes they use the AI based log analysis. Okay. So what we can say, so these are the different challenges like false alarm and irrelevant entries occurs, need of centralized log management. Okay. So these are the major challenges we can face in the login. Next, we are going to see the performance monitoring in a data centers. So now let's move this performance monitoring first. Okay. So monitoring is about the observing the system behavior in real time. Okay. Think of it like ICU monitoring in a hospital. Okay, I'm taking a very danger example, serious example, but it is exactly similar like that, like ICU monitoring in a hospital. So we continuously monitors the CPU, memory, storage, network, temperature, and power. Okay. So if anything we observe the abnormal happens, the system raise an alert for that one. Okay. So monitoring help us to avoid the downtime, optimize the performance, and detect the overload early. Okay. So this is what the performance monitoring in data centers. Let's see some key performance metrics that help us to identify the performance. So let's go to deeper into the importance of these metrics like CPU utilization. So if CPU utilize is greater than 90% continuously, what does that mean? That a system is overloaded. Okay. Memory utilization, you can say if RAM is full and system starts swapping and it gives the slow performance. Okay, in case of if RAM is full. Some disk read write performance where the high disk uses happen. Sometimes it generate the bottleneck in storage systems. Okay. Then we can say the network latency. Okay, network latency and bandwidth. So high latency means what? It shows the slow communication. Throughputs, we can say that it measures the system capacity again. Okay. Um, when we talked about the server uptime, powers and cooling status and response times and throughputs. Okay. So these are the key performance metrics that we consider while we are going to monitor the systems. Okay. Means how much is CPU utilized, how much is RAM utilization. If any kind of disk read write performance are hampered by some any operation because of bottleneck. If storage capacity is almost too rich to means almost to be full, network latency. So all these key performance metrics we consider while we are going to check the performance of the systems. Okay, there are different performance monitoring tools like in terms of industry views. So let's discuss the real world tools that is used in uh, industries. So these are some tools. Okay. I think you are very well aware of the last one, that is cloud native tools. So this AWS Cloud Watch, I think you are familiar with this ones. So this AWS Cloud Watch generally uh, gives you the alerts, different system alerts, notifications regarding the scaling up, scaling downs. So similarly, these are the different tools that is we use for the different types of operations. Like this one is we generally use for the infrastructure monitoring and any kind of alerting. Okay. So likewise, so real-time monitoring and data, we have the dashboard over there. So these are the different types of tools. Okay, Grafna, SolarWinds. Okay, so these are the different types of tools we generally industry use. Okay, let's see the how monitoring tools helps the administrators. Okay, so what we can say the role of monitoring tools. So these tools transform the monitoring from the manual to automated. Now, okay, they provide the real-time monitorings. Like the admin can see the system status instantly. So real-time status of the servers and different services. Okay, it may raise the different alert. For example, if CPU utilization is greater than 90%, it will send the alert to the administrator or admin, or in terms of disk full, also it sends the mail. So I think you observe this kind of mail and messages in your Google Workspace. Okay, so when your 15 GB free data storage is completely utilized, almost 80-90% is utilized from the same time. Google always sends you the notification that the your storage is about to fill. So buy extra storage. So likewise, that this monitoring tools help us. Uh, if you talked about the historical reports and trend analysis, so it is used for the analyzing the and the planning of the system. Like for example, automation. Okay, so some tools can be uh, help in automations. What we can say, so some tools can start the services, or some tools can the scale the resources. Okay, so these monitoring tools makes the system proactive, or you can set intelligence. Okay, so how we can achieve it, like using the dashboard visualizations. Okay, capacity planning and predictive maintenance. So these are the different way we can this monitoring tool helps to administrators. Okay, next point, and that is the threats in the data centers. Okay, so now again we are moving towards the security threats. Like there are basically two types of security threats we can consider. That is the internal and external threats. Okay, so external threats means what? The hackers, malwares, or DDoS attacks. So these are the external threats may uh, appear in your data centers. And when we talked about the internal threats, so that may be the employee misuse or accidental deletion of data. Okay. Some we have the configuration threats also. Like the you are giving the password like 12345. So this is what a weak password process. And sometimes we keep some ports open. So open ports maybe leads to uh, 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 threats or the unwanted user to enter in your system. There is also physical threats like the uh, theft, or you can say the fire, or you can say the power failure. So these are the physical thefts to the your system. Okay. So I hope this is what I explained, like malware and ransomware, unauthorized access, denial of service attack, insider threats, data leakage because of insider threats. Okay, misconfiguration and unpatched system means what? The when we talked about the means misconfiguration, what is that means? You are giving the password like 1234 or ABCD, uh, or you use sometimes you use your name like Swapnil at 1234. So these are the weak configurations. Okay, and unpatched software systems means what? Your system is not updated. But the new see every day the virus definitions are updated, so that is why the every applications must be updated as per the current scenario happens in the market. Okay, so that unpatched security streams may leads to be data leak, and someone will be entered in your system and attack your system. Okay, so these are the threats in the data centers, different threats. There are different threat detection methods. Uh, like the first one is the signature based detection, second one is the anomaly based detection, third one is the intrusion detection system. We discuss a lot most of the time regarding IDS, security information and event management system, and then the log correlations and event analysis and real-time alerts and incident uh, response. So these are the different we can say threat detection methods. So let's discuss some of them. Like this, what is the signature based detections? So what we are going to do in signature based detections, we are going to compare with the known attack patterns. Okay, what we are going to do, what we are going to do, whatever operations happen in our system, in that case we are going to compare it with the known attack patterns, like different attacks happens in past. So this is the fast, but again it is a limited to detect the threats. Okay, second one we can talk about the anomaly based detection. So it detects the unusual behavior. Okay, uh, like it generally use the AIML to detect this kind of issues. So unusual behavior means what? If any users are sending request first time, second time, third time, and it's trying to continuously send the request or continuously sending the request to the systems, and that makes the system traffic that increase the system traffic very heavily. Okay, so that is unusual behavior. Okay, next one is the intrusion detection system. So it generally we generally monitors the traffic and detect the some suspicious activity. Okay, the next one is the security information and event management. It collects the logs, um, it correlates the events and provide different types of alerts. Okay, and nowadays the modern system use the AI based you can say the threat detection mechanism. Okay, so we have AI technologies. Okay, the next point is what threat preventions or you can say the defense layer of every data centers. So detection is not enough. We must prevent the attacks. Okay, so uh, everyone knows that the prevention is always better than the cure. Okay, so that is why in data centers detection is not enough. We must prevent this kind of attacks or threats for the your data centers. So how we are going to prevent? So we use some prevention mechanisms like the firewall, intrusion detection system, access control and authentication, multi-factor authentication, encryption, patch management, network segmentation, and backup and disaster recovery. So these are the different mechanism we use to prevent our the any kind of attacks. Okay, so what firewall does? It's control the traffic base on rules. Okay, what intrusion prevention system does? It stop the attacks automatically. Okay, when we talked about the authentication, so again here comes the password, biometrics, or you can say the multi-factor authentication also comes in a access control and authentications. Okay, encryption is one of the most important thing. Using encryption, we are protecting our data to thereby the unauthorized user. Okay. Then comes the patch management, means what we fix the vulnerabilities that occurs in previous deployment of that particular applications. In a network segmentations, we limit the attacks by the spreading it in a system. Okay, so security is the layer where we call the defense in a depth. What we say that. So these are the different defense mechanism or prevention mechanism of the data center. Okay, what best practices for the data center monitoring and security? So these are the like centralized logging, continuous monitoring, regular patches, updates, and strong access control policy, backup and recovery testing, security audits and compliances check, incident response planning, and employee awareness of the training. So these are the best practices we need to perform uh, on for the data center monitoring and security. So there may be question in your examination. Write and explain the best practices for the data center monitoring and security. Uh, in detail, you need to specify that things in the detail, like what is the centralized logging. So you need to specify like the all log stores in one place. Okay, so that is mean of centralized logging. So all logs. So when we talked about the all logs, so in previous slide we discussed the different types of logs also. So mention that one. Okay. Continuous monitoring. So that is means of 24/7 and 365 days monitoring mechanism. So that you need to mention over here. The third one is the regular patch updates. So we need to patch the vulnerabilities, whatever having in your old system. So that need to patch it up, and updated software must be deployed, or software, or you can say the application is deployed on data center. When we talked about the access control, so there comes the access control list, which provide the list privileges principle. Okay, so backup strategies always have the recovery plan for your system. You need to specify the security audits, like the check system regularly by the your uh, internal mechanism. We must have the internal mechanism for the security audits and compliances, and along with that you can hire the third party for that one. Then comes the uh, incident response planning. If any kind of incidents happen, so we need to always have the plans for that kind of incidents and attacks. Okay, so and the most important thing that employee awareness and training part. So all this are the best practices for the data center monitoring and security, and we must follow this kind of practices. Okay, so what we can say, security is not a one time task. It is a continuous process. Okay, endless process in a data center management. Okay, so what we can say, I think this one is the last slide of this unit. So let's conclude the this session with the points that we learned in this session, like the login, which is records the events generally. When we talked about the monitoring that tracks the performance, and then we talked about the tools that automate the monitoring and perform different type of testing. Detection, I think in detection we identify the different threats of the data centers, and then comes the preventions, which protects the data system, data center systems from different types of events. Okay. So finally, what we understand in this sessions, we understand login, monitoring, security. That is equal to reliable, secure data centers. Okay. So this is how the real cloud companies like the AWS, Google, and Azure operate. Okay. So finally, what I can say, if the data center without monitoring is like a car without dashboard. Are you getting me? Car without dashboard. So see, in your car, the dashboard shows the different types of alerts: engine alert, speed, maximum speed, of your current speed of your car, fuel indicators. Okay, so that is why I said that data centers without monitoring is like the car without the dashboard, and but obviously it is necessary. And when we talked about the data center without security, is like a house without the lock. Okay, so we can map these things with the real life data centers. Yeah. Okay. Any query from your side? So can explain. So that's it for this unit. So we cover each and every point of this unit. You can see that we start with the different concepts. So we start with the data center types, and like the type of server farms, data centers topology. Then we understand regarding the LAN WAN connectivity and automatic fail-safe mechanism. We understand. Then we understand the fully redundant layer 2 and layer 3. So here we understand the layer 2 and layer 3 designs and services. Then we, in today's session, we understand this concept, that is what a data center monitoring and security, where we understand what is mean of login, performance monitoring tools. What is first we understand what is mean of performance monitoring and what are the performance monitoring tools. Then we also understand the threat detections and preventions in detail. Okay, so if you have anyone have any kind of query, please let me know. I will solve your query. Okay. Some student asked me regarding the PPTs. So yes, now I'm going to share you PPT. Okay. No query. What does that mean? You understand each and everything. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Let's go for the attendance. Roll number 1,
One present.
2,
Present, sir.
3, 4,
4 present, sir.
5, 6, 7,
Six
Seven
present,
present,
sir.
sir.
6 present. Okay. 7,
Seven, seven present, sir.
8,
8 present, sir.
9, 10,
Present.
11, 10 present. 11,
11 present, sir. 11 present.
12, 13, 14, 15,
14 present.
15
okay,
present, sir.
14 present, 15 present. 16, 17, 18, 19,
18 present,
20,
sir.
18
18
present.
present. Yes, sir.
10,
19 present.
20, 19 present. 20, 21,
21 present,
22,
sir.
22
21.
present, sir.
21 or
21,
22?
21, 21.
Sir, 22 also present, sir.
23,
Present, sir.
24,
24 present, sir.
25, 26, 27, 28,
26
29,
present, sir.
27 present, sir.
Sir,
26.
26 present.
27 present, sir.
Okay. 28, 29, 30,
30
31,
present,
30,
sir.
30, 31, 32, 33, 34,
33 present, sir.
35. Sorry,
33.
come on. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37.
37 present, sir.
Okay. 38, 39, 40,
39
41.
present, sir. 39 present.
Okay, done. Okay, that's fine.
So you marked 26, right?